These banners on the shores of Lake Geneva were displayed to make the people aware about ongoing genocide in Balochistan, Pakistan's largest province. Organized by the Baloch Diaspora on the sidelines of the 25th session of the Human Rights Council in Geneva, it highlighted issues like economic exploitation, Talibanization, enforced disappearances and killings of Baloch political leaders and intellectuals. The recent discovery of mass graves and an ongoing army operation in Balochistan were also highlighted.
There's a serious case of mass genocide taking place in Balochistan. Even in the American Congress it was raised last month that mass graves were found in the area of Khuzdar called Tutak, where 167 previously abducted or disappeared Baloch mutilated, decomposed bodies were found. This is crimes against humanity, and Pakistan should be held accountable for these crimes it's committing against the Baloch nation.
On March 10, the issue of gross human rights violations in Balochistan was also raised during a side event at the United Nations titled Human Rights and Security Perspectives for Balochistan and Pakistan Post-2014. Attended by Baloch political leaders, intellectuals, international human rights activists and politicians, the panelists demanded strong intervention by the international community in Balochistan. They blamed Pakistan's security agencies for the enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings of lawyers, journalists and activists in Balochistan.
The government always denied, as usual, that disappearances are the work of intra-Baloch fight. But our records and our assessment says it is the Pakistani security forces and the intelligence services that are responsible for this one.
Human rights violation could soon escalate as the Pakistan government recently passed a new controversial law, was about to, the Pakistan Protection Ordinance, which legalized forced disappearance. By what it means is that this particular law, instead of strengthening human rights instruments, which is what needed in the country, the government instead wants to strengthen the rights of the army to act with impunity. Pakistan's government blames the victims, not the perpetrators.
Baloch won freedom!
On March 12, the Baloch Republican Party, headed by pro-independence Baloch leader Baloch Bukti, held a demonstration outside the United Nations to highlight the genocide committed by Pakistani forces in Balochistan. The protesters, who have gathered from many European countries, asked the United Nations to send fact-finding missions to probe reports of mass graves and other crimes being committed by Pakistani forces in the region. Baloch Bukti claims that Baloch are depressed by the Pakistani occupation and have sought independence.
तो हमारा तो दावा यही है कि 99% बलोच आज़ादी चाहते हैं और हमने पहले भी कहा, अब भी हम कहते हैं, अगर किसी को इसमें कोई शक है, बिल्कुल हम तैयार हैं रेफरेंडम कराने के लिए। इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, यूएन, वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज़ हों, यूरोपियन यूनियन हो, उनकी सुपरविजन में सब कुछ सामने आ जाएगा कि बलोच क्या चाहता है।
Not wanting to get exposed, Pakistan has denied access to human rights organizations and international journalists in Balochistan. William Mark, a British journalist who has recently published a book, Balochistan at a Crossroads, has been denied entry to Pakistan. It is seen as the latest in a series of moves by Pakistan government to discourage journalists from reporting in the region.